Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Wednesday. Believe it or not, today is the 16th day of September. We're over halfway through the month. It's National Play-Doh Day. Did you play with Play-Doh?
I did. I loved Play-Doh.
It's National Cinnamon Raisin Bread Day. Did you eat cinnamon raisin bread?
I did. I loved cinnamon raisin bread.
National Guacamole Day.
Not a guacamole fan. I do like guacamole salsa.
Yeah. And National Step Family Day, National Working Parents Day, and it's Mayflower Day today.
Okay.
So all of those things happening on this September the 16th. And I have a guest joining me. I'm not a big MTV viewer by any means, but I love the idea for this show. Travis Mills is the host of MTV's hit series Ghosted, Love Gone Missing. So this is like when somebody's dating somebody and things are just going great, and then all of a sudden they just leave. They're just gone. They don't even say goodbye. And people are like, what happened? I have no idea why. They just left my life. So what these people do is they track them down and they find out what happened. Mm-hmm. It's a neat idea. It's really kind of cool. I'm going to be chatting with him, Travis Mills, coming up in just a while on the John and Heidi Show.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. A new survey by the National Literacy Trust said video games might help improve children's mental well-being and literacy and communication skills. So maybe if I played more video games, I could have read that without studying. And National Literacy Trust. Video games might help improve children's mental well-being, literacy, and communication skills.
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with that.
Well, I think a lot of it probably depends on the game. But there are some games that are learning games, and I think those are probably very accurate when it comes to this.
Oh, yeah, but that's not what kids are typically playing.
Well, there's some that do. I've got a link to the story if you want to read the details. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. If you have a credit card, our friends at BetterCreditCards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate, and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com. This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by Time4Rehab.com. A man was arrested and charged with driving under the influence after police said that he crossed multiple lanes of oncoming traffic. Court documents show that Drew Collins was taken into custody September 4th before 11 a.m. This is early in the day. It says he allegedly drove across the wrong side of the road onto the sidewalk, and that's where he was found unconscious behind the wheel. That is dangerous stuff. Mm-hmm. Emergency responders found a used needle in his lap, administered a dose of Narcan to revive him. He was taken to the hospital for treatment before being placed into jail. He faces a DUI and driving while his license is suspended and improper lane change. So that ended poorly, but boy, it could have been so much worse.
Yeah, it could have.
Do not drink and drive. Do not do drugs and drive. Don't do any of that. If you're impaired, get a person to give you a ride.
There's so many.
There are like
ways.
apps you can get and download that, and they'll give you a ride, and it's a couple of bucks. It's not much. It's just so much better.
Just tell the bartender, whoever was serving you your stuff,
this was
I
drugs.
Need a ride.
This was drugs, so there was not a bartender involved. But that is what happens when your brain is on drugs. Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Selena Gomez, what show was she in? She was in was it a Disney thing?
Yeah, it was Wizards of Waverly Place.
There you go.
Our daughter used to make us watch it.
I just did an interview a couple weeks ago with a young man that was on that show back in August.
Oh.
And anyway, she's in the news because she said in a recent interview that, quote, all of her ex-boyfriends think she's crazy. Well,
I think she's adorable.
she is, but maybe she's crazy. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know, but she's adorable.
And then Ozzy Osbourne had a show. What was it? Was it called The Osbournes? Is that what the show was? It was a reality show for a while. He recalled how peaceful he felt when he tried to kill his wife Sharon back in 1989.
Oh, wow.
He was. It's a
Disturbing.
new documentary, The 9 Lives of Ozzy Osbourne. The couple shared their memories of the potentially fatal incident, which took place while Black Sabbath icon Ozzy was on drugs, and he's sober now. But just talking about, I was at peace with it. I was going to kill her. I was fine with it.
Wow.
And they're still together, which is just
Yeah,
crazy.
Sharon, I got to say.
Well, through
I would
thick
have
and
been
thin,
gone, sweetie.
boy, but I think they're quite a power team too. They work well together. So kind of like another power couple I know, John and Heidi. Except for they way more successful than we are. That's Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Now, your scoop of the day, and it comes your way, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Taylor Swift is in the news. She tied the late Whitney Houston's record now for the most weeks on the Billboard 200 amongst female artists.
Oh, okay.
So
Who
that's
did?
pretty cool. Taylor Swift did.
Oh.
She just tied Whitney Houston, so she could pass her. Rihanna recently bruised her face while flipping over during an electric scooter accident.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, what in the world? An electric scooter accident. R. Kelly's attorney wants to question a convicted member of the Latin Kings gang who says that he beat up the R&B singer in a Chicago jail cell. So they're saying that this guy beat him up. I'd like to question him. So.
Oh, okay.
Not sure what happened there. Everybody knows that store brands, pastas, canned veggies, cookies, condiments, whatever, they're a little cheaper than the national brands. The assumption is that the national brands taste better. But Consumer Reports did a study, and they found that they don't. In a blind test, trained testers who are good at this kind of thing compared all these different brands with store brands in 29 different food categories. The national brands tasted equal about 19 times. 4 times the store brands actually won. 6 times the national brands won. The store brands the store brand foods that Consumer Reports tested cost an average of 27% less than the name brands. The magazine says the price gap has less to do with what's going into the packaging and more to do with the marketing and doing what they can to make it a household name.
Yeah.
So many times you find the store brand and it tastes just the same, or in
better.
four cases anyway, it was even better.
Yeah. I usually buy the store brand.
I don't complain. Except for ketchup. You got to get Heinz. I'm just saying. She tried to sneak some store brand stuff in. I'm like, what is this? That's not, no.
No, it was Hunt's.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was Hunt's.
And then there was a time that you...
really super sugary.
You snuck in some different... It wasn't Hidden Valley Ranch. It was some other ranch. And it was not... I'm like, what are you doing? Just get the kind I like. I don't want to... I'll get my own. You're leaving in the middle of a meal to go to the store.
Oh, my gosh.
A study says that a few glasses of wine each week can ward off depression. Wow, that's good news. 2 to 7 glasses per week. Per week. That's where you're going wrong. 2 to 7 glasses per week will cut your risk of depression by 32%. This study done by some winery somewhere. And nighttime online shopping is increasing, and women are particularly in the habit of shopping from the comfort of under their covers. That accounts for 2/3, 66% of nighttime customer purchases. Men spend slightly more in the night, $45 when they buy things, compared to women, $41 an average purchase. But women make up 2/3 of the purchases.
Right.
So women are buying more stuff but spending less money, and men are spending more money but buying less stuff. That all make sense?
Yeah.
I think so.
That makes sense.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. Thanks for listening on a Wednesday. We've got a guest joining us today, Travis Mills. He's the host of MTV's hit series Ghosted, Love Gone Missing. And Travis, I got to tell you, this is a fascinating idea for a show. Let's explain to folks who've not heard of it, what is this show about? How does this work?
Definitely. Well, Rachel, my co-host, and I, we tackle the issue that is ghosting. And for those who don't know what it is when someone just, for no reason or warning at all, abruptly cuts off communication with you. And, it's not just romantic relationships. It's best friendships. It's family members. You wake up one day, you go to text someone, and you realize that you're blocked, and you have no way of contacting or communicating with them. And, we try to bring these people face-to-face and, give them a reason why they got ghosted and ultimately, either give them closure or try to repair the relationship.
No, I've never been ghosted in the sense that I had, a girlfriend just leave, but I've been ghosted in business. And the weirdest thing is, working together on a project, everything's going well. Then all of a sudden, just no responses to emails, no phone calls. They won't take a call. I just wanted to know personally what happened. That is just the weirdest thing. I can't even imagine in a relationship for them to just do the same thing. So when you finally get two people across from each other, is it kind of weird to see why people ghost somebody like that?
I want to say sometimes it's so petty. Sometimes it's so small, and it's something that could have been avoided entirely. Like you said, if they just sat down, had a hard, conversation, we wouldn't have to be there in the first place. Sometimes they're very messy. Sometimes they're very dramatic. You really never know what you're going to get, and I think that's kind of the exciting thing about doing the show and what's so fun for people to watch. And it's something that's extremely relatable, like you said. I feel like everyone has a ghosting story. And so when you watch the show, it really, kind of humanizes everyone, and you're able to kind of go on these journeys, with us. And it makes it, that much better.
Now, this season is entirely self-shot. Is that like a COVID thing? Why is that?
Yeah, season one, Rachel and I were hopping on planes, and we were flying all around the country. And, we were going to these people's homes, we were going to their jobs, and, really kind of getting an inside look at their life. This season, obviously, because of the state of the world, everything is self-shot. So Rachel and I are setting up our own cameras, our own microphones, our own lights. We're doing this all out of our own homes. And we conduct all of these cases and investigations via Zoom, and we rely heavily on technology.
Now, how has that changed, the flow of the show and the feel of the show? Is it completely different, or is it at the heart still kind of the same show?
I think the show, the idea of the show and the premise of the show is, of course, the same. The thing that I think it presents a new challenge, like I said, because we do have to rely on technology, right? That's our only way of finding and talking to these people. But I think the interesting angle is that people are more likely to come on because they know if it gets weird or if they don't, if it gets too dramatic, they can just slam the laptop down and they can just click hang up and they don't have to deal with it.
Well, and I suppose with less travel, that's got to make it easier for everybody involved as well. Now, I got to tell you, I had not heard of this until just recently. It had already been out for a whole year by the time I even heard of it. But when I first heard of Ghosted, Love Gone Missing, it's doing really well on MTV. I just thought, what a fascinating idea. Whose idea is this? Is this your idea, Travis?
It's not mine. Yeah, I've been involved with this in the beginning. This is something that, we were working on for quite some time. And so just to see, how well season one turned out, how many fans of the show there are, it made us really excited to bring it back for a season two. And, we're going. We got a ton of episodes this year, and we're making it work despite all of the kind of hurdles that 2020 has thrown at us.
So of all of these, what would you say has been the most interesting ghosting story you've seen so far?
Oh, man. I think the craziest story... Look, there's different, I want to say there's different levels to this, right? On one hand, it's obviously the messy kind of breakup ghosts where someone was cheating on a best friend. On the other hand, it's best friends of 15 years, ghosted each other because of who they voted for. So like I said, every situation going into this, you have to kind of keep an open mind because it's unique and you never know what you're going to get until you bring these two people face to face.
Well, we're going to put the info out there so folks can check it out. Travis, thank you again for taking the time to chat.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Again, our guest today, Travis Mills. He's the host of MTV's hit series Ghosted, Love Gone Missing. And I'm going to throw a link to all of the information in our show notes. And at this link, you can even watch full episodes. It's all in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day, or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A study found a link between sodas and an early death. Well, that doesn't sound like a fun fact.
It does not.
So
Not
they're
even
saying
a little.
the more soda you drink, the more likely you're going to die early. So, what's the fun part of this fun fact?
Well, there's absolutely nothing good for you in soda. So,
Well, there's some water in there.
yeah.
I think that's the top ingredient on most of them.
I think you ruin it with all the other stuff. Just
All
drink
right.
water.
Well, there you go. I got this not so fun fact. It's in the show notes. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. If you have a credit card, our friends at BetterCreditCards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com. Now, a news headline from somewhere in this world, Dateline Austria. This is the one without kangaroos.
Kangaroos?
Yeah, kangaroos. Kangaroos. No, Austria, not Australia. The police there were summoned to the report of a break-in at a furniture store. Investigating officers found the glass front door smashed, but once they got inside, they were walking around. They heard some sounds of snoring coming from the carpet racks. Their crook apparently got tired and took a nap.
Oh.
He fell asleep in the store and was easily
That
nabbed.
happens
We've
often.
read-
I
yeah.
wonder what it is about burglarizing that makes you sleepy.
It's like, I'm so tired. I'm going to just take a little nap over here. I have no idea. I don't know. But that happened in Austria, not Australia, where the kangaroos are.
Kangaroos.
Actually, it's kangaroos. I just misspoke.
I think
Thanks
they
for-
know that.
I just want to make sure I don't steer anybody in the wrong direction. It's a news headline from somewhere in this world.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A woman in Scotland was unpacking her groceries and she spotted Jesus. Well, she thought. Jesus' face in the discoloration of a potato skin. The potato was included in a larger bag of potatoes. It cost her roughly $1.50. She said, I was staring at it, and I was just quite obvious that it was Jesus' face looking right back at me. I called my husband into the kitchen. He's usually real skeptical about these sort of things. He never gets overexcited about anything, but even he agreed that, yeah, that looks like Jesus. She has since eaten the potato. That is my favorite part of the story.
I know.
I love the fact that her husband usually is skeptical of these things. Is like, yeah, it's Jesus. Go ahead. Just, can you make dinner or whatever?
Are we going to boil this
What are we
now?
doing with this thing? It was
that's
$1.50, and then she ate the potato that she was certain looked like Jesus looking at her. So I sadly don't have a photo to share, but I think I'm going to Google it just to find it. I've got her name in the notes. It's all in the show notes in the story at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. Federal authorities reined in a Long Island, New York pharmaceutical company, an employee who was swiping hundreds of thousands of dollars in horse drugs from work and then selling them directly to veterinarians and trainers. 58-year-old Gregory Settino, Settino, arrested on an indictment charging him in swiping equine medication and pawning it at New York racetracks, including Belmont Park. It says he allegedly mounted the plot in order to enrich himself and without regard for how his sale of the medical products could potentially endanger the health of the horses. So, according to this, The medication was valued at more than $1 million. He
Whoa.
pocketed more than $600,000 from selling it at discounts
Wow.
to, make it a better deal. Indictment charges of theft of medical products, making a false statement to a federal agent. If convicted, could be 25 years in prison.
Wow.
It's a bad idea. That's why it is today's Moment of Duh. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. Time now for Fake News or Florida. Heidi, tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it fake news made up to trick you and amuse me? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Fake news or Florida? A Pensacola man became an internet celebrity after his giant neck made him subject of millions of jokes on social media. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember
one too.
him.
So that really wasn't even hard.
It wasn't hard at all. And then there was a music video of this kid with a really, really skinny neck and him together.
Oh, really?
Because they were both in all sorts of memes. And the skinny little white boy with a teeny, tiny neck.
Huh.
And then this guy with his big neck, they made this cute little music video together.
Well,
It
I
was
hope
really-
they got paid for
it was really
that at
cute.
least.
Oh, I'm sure they have been,
I
even
sure
just
hope
in people watching it.
Yeah, I
you
hope
know.
so. I don't like it when people make fun of people for things like that. That's not good. And I try, on this program, we don't really make fun of people. I really don't. I don't think it's a good thing to make fun of people. It's a bad idea. And now I'm trying to think back. Hopefully we haven't made fun of anyone lately, because I really don't like doing that. This is today's Fake News or Florida.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with a little bit of good news, and I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. And this story comes from last week. I had this sent to me. Here's the headline. North Carolina Zoo announces birth of cute but ferocious sand cat kitten. Now, in this photo, this cat is adorable. This little small wild cat lives in sandy and stony desert areas. And when you look at the photo, you just think, oh, how adorable. But sand cats are small right now, but don't let their tiny little petite size fool you. They weigh from 4 to 8 pounds and measure on average 20 inches long. So that's even at full size, not going to be huge. But they're wild, fearless hunters, and they kill venomous snakes in the desert. So that's what they're trained, that's what they do. It's just what they do. They also are a rare sight to see because they live in harsh landscapes and they're pretty secretive in nature and they hunt at night. Only 13 facilities affiliated with the Association of Zoos and Aquariums have sand cats. And now they've got one in North Carolina. The kitten, small enough to fit into a teacup right now, was born as the first kitten from this pair. This Cosmo and Najma are the mom and dad. Although the cats are incredibly appealing with their big ears and their big eyes and their petite frame, any zookeeper who cares for them says that they're wild. They're ferocious animals, and you should never try to keep one as a pet. Sand cats have a keen sense of hearing, so they got these big ears. It's to detect animals under the sand.
Oh, interesting.
And they use their excellent digging skills to quickly capture their prey. They are well known to North African nomadic tribes as snake hunters. And there's a video in the show notes if you'd like to see what they look like at work. But they are absolutely adorable. But yeah, they're saying you don't want to get too snuggly with this kitten because it'll kill you. So it's not good. I've got a link to that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great Wednesday. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.